Haha, yes! Yusuf is getting really good at guessing all of these intros. Hey, hello everybody, and welcome 2021. This is this is the first coffee chat I've done this year because I've been busy on other things, and these things happen, and well, what can I say? Oh, dearie me. So yeah, I mean, I automatically get demonetized for playing a copyrighted song, but hey, I don't earn money from YouTube anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And I'd rather have good music. It's as simple as that. Or what's the point of having crap music? Let me just get Discord up and running as well. There's no point having rubbish music and getting 20 cents on YouTube when I can lose 20 cents and have decent music. That's what I say anyway. So, what has been happening? Yeah, gosh, so much. So let's have a look in the store first. As you can see, you can still get the containers for the STG, blah. Yeah, they're still there. The T28 HTC is out. That is a good tank, by the way. 5,000 gold, and you're getting, quite you're getting quite a good amount of credits. You're getting 30 days of premium, which in itself is a hefty chunk of money, to be honest with you. And of course you get a legendary avatar. I mean, you buy it for the avatar, yeah? Well, anyway. Then we've got a surprise alliance. You get the Panzer 58, which is a very nice tank, by the way. The Mutz is a good tank. And you get the Mutz legendary camouflage. And you also get the 59 pattern, which is a surprisingly interesting tank, to be fair. I mean, it's not as bad as some make out. Okay, it's got a huge, massive pimple on the top of its turret, which doesn't help. But it's not a bad tank. That's 10,500 gold for 2. Okay, it's tier 8. But with that, you're getting a very good tank and just my playstyle. Panzer 58, very good tank. The 59 pattern is a good tank. It's not very good in my opinion, but you get it. It's a good tank. All the equipment is unlocked. You get both the camouflages. You get 15 certificates for each of those vehicles. And of course you get Berserker's Axe legendary avatar. You want an avatar, yeah? Gosh. If you don't want to do that, you can just buy the tanks on their own. And they cost 6,000 gold each. But they get all the equipment unlocked, which is different. Normally Wargaming doesn't have all the equipment unlocked. And more importantly, you still get the avatar. So, what more do you want? You still get all the mod containers, and you can buy a modified lightning avatar, but you can only get that with that, and it's the same as the avatar container. So, not much in there really. Bundles, well, a meal 1951 containers. I haven't tried that yet. I need to try that, to be fair. I don't know if I've got anything on my Google account, my Apple account at the moment. Let's find out. I may have. I may not have. It may not let me buy anything from my PC. I don't know. Well, it's looking like it's not going to let me get anything from my PC. This is the problem I have with Apple. Sometimes Apple can be a pain. So anyway, whilst that is deciding to sort of kick its ass in, hey Stitch, vibes to music from the south. Hello, Yusuf, of course. Hello, Dupe. How you doing, mate? Ashley, hello. Robert, Emmanuel Balls, hi. Israel, how are you doing? Ashley Bevis, how are you? Go for Falls, long time no see, mate. How's it going? I hope everybody had a good Christmas and so far a good New Year. What else we got? Spicy, hey, how you doing, Spicy? How's everything going out there, man? Just down the road, by the way, from me. Over here in the UAE. Who else we got? PT Blitz, hello. Yes, it was Hans Zimmer. Yeah, look, service unavailable. It never lets me. But then again, hey Joe Johnson, good afternoon, good morning to you. How's it going? Who else we got? Have I missed anybody? Todd Joe, how are you doing, mate? So I'd love to buy that, but I can't because, well, I could actually, but not from this place. Bear with me 2 seconds. Let me see if I can do something else. It'll go a bit weird at the moment. The screen will, but don't worry about that because I'm intrigued. So you've still got the, I mean, we've got 12 containers there. Look, that's a lot. Oh, screen's gone a bit weird. Don't know what happened. No, I do. So I'm just gonna do something here, and then we'll log back in. Because Apple's being a pain. But I want to see. Housing on a whim. Yeah, it's a good tank, the housing. It's not bad, man. A lot of people complain about it, but it's not as bad as you think. It's okay, and you can have some really, really good fun in the housing. Really good fun. So anyway, what I was trying to do didn't work, so I'm going to log back in. It would appear that there are a few technical issues with the PC version of my game, but hey, it happens. But anyway, the dreaded Emil 1951 is finally here. It's in crates, as you saw. Some of them are expensive, some of them are... So let's have a look at the crates. So it's 10% drop chance, which isn't actually bad. That's actually quite good. It is, however, basically an Emil. So each container includes the Emil 1951, a Tier 8 premium heavy tank with a 5% drop chance, or one Emil 1951 charm. So again, you're gonna have to get the charms. So the drop chance for the vehicle is 5%, which, as I said, isn't too bad. The epic reward is 10%, and all the rest of them, blah blah blah. And you're definitely going to get a charm. It's 100%. So there's no guarantee you're going to get this tank, guys, and it's not exactly cheap. I mean, that's 18 dirhams, which is about $5 for one crate, which you're getting extra crate. So that's 2 crates. If I move down, however, you get 12 crates here for 185 dirhams, which is basically about $50, roughly about $50. So this is not going to be a cheap tank. If you want to get it on charms, I mean, I don't know how many charms you need. You probably need 20 charms or 25 charms as per usual. That's going to cost $100 for a Tier 8 tank. There has been a lot of hype about this tank because it's meant to be in, it was meant to become, it was meant to do, it was meant to that, blah, blah, blah. So, personally, I mean, I've never played that. I haven't played the tank ring because I haven't got it on my press account yet, because my press account hasn't been reactivated yet for the new year. But the chances are it's going to be the same as the Emil 1, to be honest with you. If I do manage to get the tank, I will let you know. But at this moment in time, I don't have the tank. I haven't played the tank, so I don't know. Moving on, we have, because obviously Wargaming said no more seal clubbing, we have the T1 E6 and the BT SV, both in the garage. That's a Tier 2 and a Tier 3. Both collectors. Both unique tanks, to be honest with you. But hey, you're spending $5 on collectors now, which was always going to be the way, to be perfectly honest with you. There's some good stuff around here, strategic advantage, high potential. It's not too bad. I mean, 1.5 million, 11,000. You're getting it for about, how much is that? It's about $30, give or take. So... there's lots of things in there and out there. Anyway, that's normal stuff. It's always in there. Yeah, the Emil 1 does have the OP consumable. Anyway, I'm going to open a container. I've got a huge container to open. Ba-ba! Oh, okay. What about this one? Ba-ba! Okay. So, there we go. That's what's in the store at the moment. Let me get some replays up and running. There we go. This is, Happy Tom Steam of the Clan Grump, also known as Water Tank Split Happy. So let me just turn the game noise down. It's a bit loud, yeah. Oh, why it's so loud. I'll sort that out in a minute. Who we got on Discord anyway? We've got Not Banana Joe, Dark and Spicy. There you go. So what else is happening? Well, as you know, we've got Mad Games back, and if you were around yesterday, you would have seen Rolling Swarm rolling out on his on his YouTube channel and doing a live stream whereby he was playing just Mad Games. So Mad Games is okay. Yeah, it's a good way to grind credits. It's a good way to get back into the game if you've been out of it for a while. It's a good way to just blow off steam. You're not going to lose any of your bits and bobs, stat wise. What else has been going on? Well, the other thing that was happening, I was having a chat yesterday with some of the other CCs, namely the likes of Amunet, Martin Dogger, Hassamat, and Every Good Name Is Taken. And one of the things that came up was OP tanks. And as you know, I'm not. It's very rare that I say a tank is OP. Very rare. And we're having this big discussion about what makes a tank OP, and I argue it's basically it's a difficult one because everybody has a different view and a different play style and a different opinion. So what I may find OP and easy to play as a tank, you may struggle in, for example, and I'll give you an example on that. So I don't think anybody with any stretch of the imagination will say that the FV4202 is an OP tank, or even broken, or even powerful. Yet, if you are a pro player, and you're one of those super duper unicums, the chances of you playing that tank and playing it like an absolute beast with its Hesh gun is vastly increased. Now, does that make the tank OP? Well, the FV4202 is certainly not an OP tank. So it all depends on how the player plays the tank. And herein belies my problem. Now, I totally agree there are some incredibly powerful tanks out there, but are they OP? So, off the top of my head, let's think of 3 tanks that a lot of people say is OP. So let's have a look at them in order. So we have the Smasher, which everybody says is OP. We then have the Annihilator, which again, everybody says is OP. And then we have the T22, which also people are saying is OP. So, what is making these tanks overpowered? Which is what OP is, by the way. OP is overpowered. So, the Smasher, yeah, okay. It's a very, very powerful tank. And even in the hands of an average player, just loading HE, you will have a generally good game in a Smasher. However, does that tank realistically give the team that has the Smasher such an advantage if the player is, not particularly skilled? Now, I've had some terrible games in a Smasher. And I played against people. I did a video recently on the VK3601H where a relatively good player was in a Smasher, and I'm in a VK3601H, and I bounced every shot and killed him. So, and I'm in a tier lower than him. He's a tier 7 Smasher. I'm a tier 6 German tech tree tank. I bounced every shot he threw at me, and I slowly whittled him down on Desert Sands. So, is the Smasher really OP if a VK3601H can bounce everything? Compared to the KV2, which is what it's based on, then yes, it is. Of course it is. It's totally OP. It's completely OP. But is it a KV2 in sheep's clothing? Well, that is a discussion. What about the Annihilator? Now, a lot of people say, and I've had a lot of hassle because a lot of people having a go at me because I refuse to say that the Annihilator is OP. It's a very, very powerful tank. It really is. It's got trolley turret armor, and it's got 3-barreled gun, which is pretty bloody good. Knocks out 650 high-end alpha. So it is a powerful tank, but is it OP? Now, up against tier 8, which it does face, it will struggle to pen unless you put your AP ammunition in, premium ammunition. It will struggle to pen them, and if you know where to pen that tank, it's not OP. It's not OP at all. I mean, it's just a powerful tank. Wait for it. I mean, not every shell is going to land unless you're daft enough to be sat in the open. Wait for it to be on its reload. You can go in there and you can blow, it's not exactly the fastest tank unless he drops the high-end consumable. But even then, its turning circle isn't the best. So you can get around it and you can hurt it, to be fair. You really can hurt it. And, seeing an Annihilator on the enemy team doesn't make me go, oh my god, we're going to lose. It doesn't. But, again, if it goes out in tier 6, that's a different argument. Because in tier 6, and don't forget it's a tier 7 tank, in tier 6, it will absolutely dominate. So, is it OP or just powerful? And then we have the T22 medium. Now, everybody keeps saying that the T22, that's a great M there by Happy Tom's team. 7,765 dished out in the grill. Not an easy tank to dish out, by the way. That much damage. That's a really, really good game. Layla, how are you doing? Happy New Year, Layla. I've not seen you for a while. Mainly because I haven't been around. You've been around. I've just not been around. I'm still looking for replay. I've got some also replays in my other thing, but in the replay channel. But I want to just check. Okay. Damn it, man! Sent me a replay that had no content. Sorry, damn it, man! Can't play it. So I'm just checking my emails here because people do send me emails as well, and I think I've seen all the replays. Oh no! Here's one. So this is from Striker 347. De bien, rolling out in the Cromwell. So back to the T22. Stage, I've got your 268, don't worry. So get back to the T22. Now, when it first came out, yes, it has got trolley armor, because it has got spaced armor, okay? And here is the thing. Now that players have got used to it, it's not as trolley as you think. And, it's not as difficult to defeat as you would expect. So would we say the T22 truly is OP? I mean, again, I don't think it is. Now, this is where I'm coming from with this. I think tanks can be powerful, like the Annihilator and the Smasher. I think tanks can be unbalanced, like the Smasher and the Annihilator, because when they go down in a tier, they can dominate. I also think the T92, the tier 9 ATGM that used to be an ATGM, is also an unbalanced tank, and I'll get to that tank in a minute because I mean the thing is, this was one of the tanks I was arguing with Every over. I mean, Every doesn't think it's a very strong tank per se because of its gun, but I think it is a very strong tank, but I'll get to that in a moment. Hey Simon, how you doing? So there are tanks that are unbalanced, there are tanks that are powerful, and there are tanks that are broken. And the Keniotsu is one of those tanks that, to be fair, is a broken tank. And you can't say it's OP, but it's definitely broken. And it's broken because, well, the reload's broken, isn't it? It's as simple as that. But on the same token, does that mean the Black Prince is broken? Because that's got an insane reload as well. And, you have to sort of look at it different ways it means. I mean, the Keniotsu, bless it, a lot of things has been said about the Keniotsu. And you know what? There is not many of them out there. Okay, there aren't many. And generally the games that you get to see of people playing in the Keniotsu is going to be an ace. Because there aren't many people playing it, because there aren't many of them out there. I mean, you can't buy it. If you were just one of those lucky ones who got it in that short window, then good for you. I'm one of those, yeah. But it's got no armor, it's got decent mobility, but it's got a broken gun. It has got a broken gun. It's more of a discussion, Layla. It's not an argument, as in we're not shouting at each other. It's a discussion over various terms. So the Keniotsu is a broken tank. But as I said, by the same discussion, by the same token, does that mean that the Black Prince is also a broken tank? Because you know, the Black Prince has got an insane reload and it's got pretty decent armor. So, you never know. Now, my argument with regards to the T92, which Every is not accepting, but, you know, he plays the tank differently and he sees it differently to me, blah, 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 is that what you've got here, you've got a light tank, okay? Got a light tank which has, firstly, a really small profile. And I mean a small profile. It's low to the ground and it's not very wide. 2, it has got insane armor, including spaced armor. I mean, this thing will bounce, okay? It will bounce. A mouse. I've seen it bounce an E100. I mean, so it's got trolley armor. It's got the mobility and the camo profile of a light tank. You know, so you can throw this thing on the battlefield, and with its low clearance and low profile, it's pretty difficult to bloody spot. And if you're in a heavy with a lumbering traverse, it's pretty difficult to hit, just like the Bat-Chat is difficult to hit. Not only that, it's got a tank destroyer's dirt gun in there. Forget the ATGMs. The ATGMs made it unbalanced. Now it's got heat, but it's still got a dirt gun. And don't forget, this is a light tank. It's a light tank, no difference to the Vickers. Okay, it does have a long reload. But does that mean it's any much broken or unbalanced? No. And then, on top of all of that, so you've got light tank camo, light tank mobility, light tank maneuverability, and you know, the light tank speed that stops you from getting ruined by heavies. You've got heavy tank armor, and you've got TD dirt. I mean, what is not to like about this tank? Hey, Mutsu, how you doing, mate? So, you've got to think, I mean, is the T92 balanced? I don't think it is. I don't think it's a balanced tank. I think it was less balanced when it had missiles, because the missiles themselves are not balanced. But we don't need to go into that story. They're gone. They're no more. They're out of here. So we don't need to even discuss missiles. But we're getting back to what really makes a tank OP. And that is what I want to hear from you guys. What do you think makes a tank OP? Just because somebody says it's OP, and just because somebody shows you a replay of somebody doing, you know, 6k damage in a tier 7 tank, i.e. like the Smasher, don't necessarily jump on that bandwagon thinking it's OP. Now, don't also think that I'm sat here saying that the Smasher needs a buff, the Annihilator needs a buff, blah, blah, blah. I'm not interested in any of that. I just want to know what people think. What makes a tank OP? Because the strictest terminology is that it's got to be overpowered. And I'm definitely a big believer in the player makes the tank, not the tank makes the player. You know, if I just rolled out in a Smasher, okay, and that was it. If I did all my games now in a Smasher, I would still be a 50% win rate player. Okay, think about that. So yeah, I'm just waiting to see what comes out of that. Yeah, chat is dead. Oh well, it does happen, Layla. So Spicy is saying it's the player, Layla is saying it's the player, Techno is saying it's the player. So, of course, yeah, the player does make it a lot more. And, you know, just to give you another understanding on that, I used to struggle in the T62A more than I struggled in the Object 140. Bizarrely, I don't know why. It's just bizarre that I don't struggle as much in the 140 as I did the T62A. That's a great game by Dubian. Look at that. 2,612. Oof, 4 kills. But then I started watching Juicy Tender Steak. And I like watching Juicy because he's a good player. He's a fantastic player. I think I did Yusuf. Yes, I'm going through them. He's a fantastic player to watch as well, and he does a lot of his YouTube content is live streams. And I've been watching him for quite a while. And I mean, I've been watching GC for a long time, and he plays tanks that I struggle in. You know, like the Grill, like the T62, blah blah blah. So I've been watching how he's been playing those tanks, and basically I've just been copying and pasting that, and it's made me a lot better in those tanks. So instead of getting infatuated on what's OP or not, hang on. You start watching people like his Royal Fatness and Juicy's Tendon. Now, you can't emulate them fully, okay? Because they've got a skill level that you don't have the same skill level. Because it's simple as that. I mean, you may have the same skills overall, you know, but you're not the same person. So, you know, Ronaldo is not the same footballer as Messi. So they have different skill levels, but they're still highly skilled footballers. So that's the same here in Blitz. I mean, when you watch some of the pros, you may have the same skills, but you don't have the same skill level. You know, because we're all different. We're all individual. Discord in the voice. I'm on. I've been kicked out of Discord. That's outrageous. I was in Discord. Sorry, guys. Discord booted me. That was my fault. So I am there back again. So simple as that. So yeah, I mean, watch these players and pick up some of their hints and tips, because that's the whole idea, yeah? If you want to improve, is to basically follow these type of players, because they're pretty bloody good, yeah? And that's what I do, generally. And
good afternoon.
How you doing, mate? It's Matthew was in the house. Hello. And the thing is, you know, I mean, I could show. I mean, I'm showing you replays now, and I could show you replay after replay of all the fantastic games that you will see in Blitz, and there are some truly spectacular games out there. But I'm not being funny. If I showed you, for example, Iliasuks, who's a great player on the Asian server. Here's replay on the Grill, where he gets 10k damage. The chances of you playing the tank the same way and getting 10k damage is pretty bloody remote. Because even the best players in the game, on the RU server, EU server, NA server, blah blah blah, haven't got 10k damage. That's why Iliasuks was number 1. So you know, you've got to be careful on when you see these super duper replays, okay? Right, let me have a look at this question. So, Karan, how are you doing? What about the Gravedigger? It's a shit tank at tier 8 matchup, but OP at tier 6 and balanced at tier 7. Which category would you put it in? Okay, again, this is the thing. I mean, it's unbalanced, isn't it, when it comes against tier 6? Balanced at tier 7, and then totally awful at tier 8. And I suppose, like a lot of those type of tanks, Gravedigger's one of those tanks. As long as you're not being put in tier 6 battles a majority of the time, then you're going to get a balanced MM, relatively. You know, so the MM, and I've always been calling for balanced MM, it's one of the things I'm moaning and wargaming about at the moment. And one of the things I've always wanted is a balanced MM. So that's a tricky one, because, you know, we come back to the Annihilator and we come back to the Smasher. In tier 6 games, they are crazy. In tier 8 games, they're not so crazy. I mean, the Smasher is. And in tier 7 games, they are slightly powered. So it's a tricky one, that. So Stephen also says, I heard a lot about pay to win tanks. I don't think it's correct. Just because you buy a premium tank doesn't mean you're going to win. Okay, this is another one that I'm glad somebody's brought up. Pay to win. You will hear this being bandied around all over the bloody shop by lots of different people. And this is just my opinion. You may agree with me, you may disagree with me, but strictly speaking, the term pay to win is you buy something that gives you a distinct advantage on the battlefield over the other players, regardless of your skill level. Okay? So, pay to win is where skill is devalued totally. It's taken out of the equation. So you don't need to play the tank skillfully. You're still going to have a distinct advantage on the battlefield. Now, I don't know of any premium tank, realistically, that has a distinct advantage on the battlefield. I know of premium tanks that have better credit making facilities, that are better than their tech tree counterparts, but does that give them a distinct advantage on the battlefield? I don't know. Again, you tell me. Now, I do firmly believe we have got not pay to win, but pay to progress. And that's something completely different. So it used to be where it would take you some time to grind through the tanks and the tech trees. Now you can just buy your way through. And that's different. So you can pay to progress, which is not necessarily pay to win. Two different things. Two different things. But again, what do you guys think? You tell me.
Say the Progetto. For the premium tank that has an advantage. Just because it's not on paper. Like on paper, it's almost the same as the Pantera if I would trade it like with the score. But reality and the paper really says a whole different thing. Like the Progetto, like I'm really confident I can 1v1, like even 1v2 Panteras. That's how good that thing is. But again, that thing is quite a bit hard tank to play. I'm not gonna say that it's an easy tank to play, like because it has no armor and has like the HP and other survivability aspect of it is quite low compared to other tanks.
But here's a question for you though, Matthew. Is that a scenario of like my scenario with the Object 140 against the T62A, where on paper, strictly speaking, both tanks perform equally. There's no distinct advantage one way or the other. To be fair, there's nuances like gun depression on one is a little tiny little bit better than the other. But aside from that, it's basically the same bloody tank. Yeah, I played the 140 a lot better than I played the C62A. Well, that's me. That's not the tank. That's me. And maybe, do you think that maybe just because the Progetto 46 suits your particular playstyle and you particularly like that tank, you play it better than the Pantera? Because it's the same bloody tank in real terms, apart from the credits. And the reload's a little bit better, the armor profile's a little bit better. It's not a distinct advantage. I mean, in theory, you should play both those tanks almost exactly the same. Almost.
So like, it's not just me actually. Like I've just opened up the statistics for both of the tanks, and the Progetto has 6% more win rate than the Pantera.
Yeah, but how many players are playing the Progetto compared to the Pantera?
10,000 for the Progetto, 7,000 for the Pantera.
So you have to take that into consideration as well. So there's more, there's more people playing it, so it increases the stats overall on the win rate calculations. Excuse me a moment. Happy birthday tomorrow, Metin. That's great to know, man. Happy birthday, yes indeed. For tomorrow as well, and it's a Sunday, so I hope you have a good day, man. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are tanks that we all have as our nemesis, then that we shouldn't have, that... when you look at it in the cool light of day, we should not struggle in that tank for whatever reason. I used to have a big issue with the E5, massive issue with the E5. In random battles, couldn't play it for toffee, but in tournaments, I didn't have a problem with it. In ratings, didn't really have a problem with it, but in random battles, just couldn't play it for toffee. Now that was me. That's not the tank, because I know the tank's a good tank because people play it and they play it well. So that's me. It was something about me and that tank. And I got it into my head that the penetration on the tank was everything to blame for my piss poor playstyle. Yeah, I was not struggling. And this is where I differ, because in obviously in tournaments I'm using more premium ammunition than I do in randoms. In randoms I very rarely use premium ammunition unless I have to, absolutely necessary, because I'm tight. So I've got it convinced into my head that the penetration on the thing sucks and you can only use premium ammunition. And then again I went back, I spoke to Jory, the likes of Jory who's helped me. I've spoken to a few other players. I've watched Juicy Tender Steak, how they play it. I watch a lot of tournaments and how the guys play it. And I've gone back with a new mentality towards that tank. I've played it completely differently. And to an extent where I'm much better in it now than I used to be. And I enjoy it more now than I used to. Funnily enough. But that was something in my head, something wrong with me, not wrong with the tank. Because everybody used to say to me, you know, how can you struggle in that tank? It's a fantastic tank. And I agree, it's an absolutely brilliant tank. It's awesome, it's amazing, it's fantastic. But, you know, there are just some tanks that you just don't get on with. It just happens. Is Matthew gone? Matthew, you still there?
Yeah. No.
There you go.
Yeah, like, but the statistics, even with 3,000 players more, and the Progetto for the last couple of months have been basically given away by Wargaming.
Yeah.
Like, a 6% more win rate is not normal. Like, just say it like that. And with how Wargaming are giving away the Progetto, I think a lot more. Like
exactly, a lot more people will grab
the player base will be more balanced. Say it like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of bad players playing that, a lot of good players playing that, a lot of super unicorns playing that.
Yeah.
I believe from this, what I can see from the statistics is the Progetto is performing a lot better than the Pantera, which is
That's interesting.
a good tank by itself.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'm not saying the Pantera is not a bad tank. Like, I like it. My only problem with it is only has 8 degrees of gun depression. Like combined with the armor or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
I think it's, for me, I don't really suit the tank. That's where my problem is with the tank.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, I don't have any other complaints. The DPM is good. The penetration is excellent for tier 8 medium.
Yeah, no, it is. And yeah, Yosi boy, I used to be the same with the 215B, funnily enough. I used to be exactly the same. I used to struggle in that tank. And you know what? It's a fantastic tank. And again, I spoke to the likes of Yori, who plays that tank very well. And I've been watching, you know, Juicy Tender Steak, who also plays that tank very well. And I've just been trying to emulate. I can't copy them because they have a different skill to me. But I've been just trying to sort of take the little snippets of what they do and give that a good go. Stephen, it's strange to say that. My stats have gone up, not down, funnily enough. It's the other way around for me. Hello, Napoleon blown
Well,
apart.
yeah, it depends on like how you are progressing as a player, I guess.
Yes,
like,
it
if you're
does.
getting better and better with time, then your
Yeah.
stats should go up and it should show it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you see, Jose boy, that's the thing. I mean, I don't like the Super Conk. I mean, when it comes to, if you gave me a Super Conk or 215B, I'd take the 215B any day of the week, and twice on Sundays, and tell you to stuff your Super Conk, because I'm not a big fan of it.
It depends actually. Like I'm speaking more of the tournament side mainly
Yeah.
for right now because right now mainly I only play tournaments, not randoms or even ratings. The Super Conqueror is like if you want more flexibility compared to the 215B. 215B is where you want a farming tank that can hold its own if it's getting rushed or if it's
Yeah.
needed to go rush a tank.
by itself, or even with a pair or whatever. I just say, yeah, like it's based on the situation that you want the tank, that you want to play the tank in, that you choose either of those two.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're right. I mean, it is a more flexible tank, so there is that to it. But I just like the 215B. I don't know why. It's just a thing. Nova. Nova's asked the question. Potentially the 2 Russian tier 10 tanks that are both currently reward tanks in World of Tanks. Do you think they come on rewards or box? Good question. Now, any premium or collector that comes in tier 10 will come in initially as a crate tank now, I would have thought. You won't be able to buy them outright at this moment in time. These are the new tanks. I mean, obviously you can buy the Mark 6 and stuff like that now. But if it's a new tank that way, then you're not going to get it unless it's going to be in a crate. Now, there is talk, however, that they will start looking at better rewards for certain game modes, like ratings, etc., etc. So I don't know, is the honest answer, how they'll do that one yet. Sorry, Matt, you're over to you, mate.
Yeah, chances are, since the T22 and the M60, also the Tier 8 Chieftain, the Chieftain T95, I think that's what it's called. Like those 3, and also the IS5 is also a Clan Wars reward tank in World of Tanks PC. They all come for money in bits, so the chances are that they'll come for money as well. Like those, the Object 270 and the Object 907.
Well, not necessarily for tournament cups, Stitch, but there is debate, and all I can say at the moment is there is debate that there may be a Clan Wars style thing coming into World of Tanks Blitz. We don't know yet. All these things are still, in the dev stage, so to speak. But we don't know. We don't know yet. But they could come as season coins as well. Chances are they won't. Maybe, I don't know. That generally what happens is that Wargaming will give us more information as obviously the year goes through. So I will get one. I will get an answer on that because the CCs at the moment have a very good relationship with Wargaming at the moment. So we are getting some information. Do I think the AMX 54 will come for purchase? Yeah, but not until maybe the 4th time around. The reason I say that is because it's a very good tank. It is a good tank. In the right hands, it's a very, very good tank. I think the next time it comes round, it'll be in crates again. Potentially the 3rd time, but you're not going to get it. It's not going to be like the T22, where it's going to be for crates for the next year and a half, 2 years. It won't be that bad. I think give it about 6, maybe 7 months. 6 months tops, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Give it 6 months, I think it will come out for gold. And it'll be around 25,000 gold, I think. Because that's what they're sort of aiming at the moment.
Or maybe they'll release the 25% chance of you getting the tank, or 8,500 gold. That's also a possibility.
It is a possibility. I mean, it's just it's a strange one because now they've introduced charms to the crates. I mean, if you don't get it this time round, then the chances are the charms are still going to stay in your garage. So when it comes round again, you'll get some more charms if you don't get it first time. And I reckon the next 3 times at least will still be crates before they sell it. Mike, you say you bought a snow globe to finish the Yuletide event. You forgot to open it and it won't open. No, it won't open now. Yes, you do need to submit a ticket to Wargaming support, and they will sort that out for you. And they will sort it out for you because they'll have everything about it. They'll have all the transaction information, so you'll be okay, man. You'll sort that out. Other people are saying things, but yeah, Cup of Fools, I saw that. Yeah, and yeah, I mean the I've got a video in the making about at the moment. It's not the I have to keep telling everybody this. It's not the The itself is not broken. And it goes back to when I was telling you about it's not pay to win, it's pay to progress. So we've got mad games at the moment, and players are bombarded with boosters and ×5 XP boosters, and you get so many crates and you get boosters left, right and centre thrown at you. Then the grind to the next tank isn't that bad. And I go back to when I first started playing this game way back in 2014, and I thought my aim was to get the mouse, okay, because I love the mouse, and that was my aim. And after 8, 9, even 10 months of playing the game, pretty regularly by the way, I still thought that mouse is just out of reach, and it's going to take me eternity to get all the tanks, literally eternity. Because they would, I wasn't earning the credits fast enough, and I was tight in those days. I didn't buy credits or gold, and I wasn't getting the XP quickly enough. And it was a long grind. Now I can enrich a tank, so I can let's take the Tiger. I can get the Tiger 1, and I can play the Tiger 1 for about 40 games, let's say. And then I'll have enough XP in the Tiger 1 to get the Tiger 2, for example. And then I don't want to go through the grind of the Tiger 2 again. So I buy the Tiger 2. And now I'm given the option to automatically upgrade it using gold, which means I don't need to grind the modules. I just get it all. Bang. I've got the top tier Tiger 2 without even playing the tank. And if I wanted to, now I've got the top tier Tiger 2, that now means I can get the next tank in line, which is the VK45. So I can get that now. And then, boom, I've got the VK45. And then I'm like, okay, or the E75, or whatever tank, the E75. Then I'm like, well, I don't want to play this one either. And by the way, I did this on my Asian account, just to prove a point. I don't want to buy this, I don't want to play this either. So I can instantly upgrade it for gold, which is about 8,000 gold. And then, bang, if I've got the credits and the XP, I can now buy the E100. But if I haven't got the credits or the XP, not a problem, because I can convert credits. I can buy credits using gold, and I can convert XP. What's the problem? And if I can't convert XP, I've got boosters and I've got mad games. I can go out and get the XP. So, that buggers up the That's a great game, by the way, Yusuf. Really good game in the Leo. So it's not pay to win, it's pay to progress. And this is what you're now seeing. I think it took me somewhere in the region of, 8,000 battles, maybe, roughly, maybe a little bit more, to get my first tier 10 back in the day. And now I've got a tier 10 on my NA account and on my Asian account with less than 1,000 battles. Now, that's the difference, yeah? Now I've got my tier 10 on NA. I've got 3 tier 10s, in fact. I've got an E100, an IS4, and I've got the mouse, and I'm about to get the T62A. So that'd be 4 Tech Tree tier 10s that I've got on my Asian account. Now, that's less than 1,000 battles. I've got 4 Tech Tree tanks in tier 10. I mean, okay, it's a reroll account. But let's say it wasn't a reroll account. Let's say it was a normal account. Then, am I ready to go in that tier? No, of course I'm not. And it's not the that picks that. It's me that picks that. I choose to go into that tier. All the then does is say, okay, well, I've got this many mediums, this many lights, this many TDs, and this many heavies across tier 10 and tier 9, allocate them accordingly. Doesn't look at your battle count, doesn't look at your win rate, it just allocates according to tank and class. So it's not the that's broken, it's the player base that's broken. And the player base is broken because too much is being introduced. That's the problem. It's too easy. Now, Wargaming's argument to this is, well, we're a business, and what we have is, because the grind is too long, people are leaving. So in order to trim the grind without trimming the grind, we're going to make it easier for people to get to tier 10, but they've got to throw cash at it. That's not pay to win, that's pay to progress. But the problem therein is that you are devaluing the game overall in the grand scheme of things. That's the issue. Where, it used to be back in when I was playing this game, back in the day, it was a question of, when I got my first mouse on my EU account, which was my very first tier 10, I was really, really proud of that achievement. There's no pride in that achievement anymore. There is no pride in achieving a tier 10 tank in the game anymore. Because, where is it? Where is it?
Finish line.
Stephen, why the grind? Because there are quite a number of free-to-play players as well out there.
What I would say in the grinding section,
Say again, mate. Speak up.
It gets painful. Like, no problem to get the XP. The problem is credits. If you do 3 lines at a time, then you're gonna get credits super fast. Force use. And nowadays, because you can get the XP from the grades goes 3 times. And the occasional type. So yeah, like the credits are a bigger problem.
Oh, it is a big problem. But after this replay, remind me, I've got to turn the game noise down because it's coming out of my ear far too loud. And no doubt coming out far too loud at your end. So I'm going to turn the game noise down so we can hear what Binocular is saying properly. Bear with me. Right, there we go. Turn that down. Turn that off. Stick that up. Sorry, Joe. Say it in roundabout way again, mate. I'm really sorry about that.
So, in today...
There we go.
Today,
I can hear Joe properly now, and no doubt you can as well.
Hallelujah. So, today, as a free-to-play player, it's super easy to get EXP. You can basically do 5+ lines at a time. But the problem is, with this fast progression, unless you're doing few 1 or 2 to 3 lines, the credits become a big obstacle. In
Yeah, it does.
Yes, you. So I don't know. Should they look around about the credit system?
Well, I
Should
think
they change prices?
I think they need to do something before they devalue the game. That's what I think they should do. Now, how they do that is, I don't know, is the honest answer. But they've got to do something before. Look, every game I've played, and I don't play many games. I used to play a lot. I don't really play many computer games. I play PlayStation games on PS3 and PS4. And virtually all my gaming experience is to get to the final level, you will struggle through the other levels. Okay? Simple as that. Until you get better. I mean, one of my favorite games used to be Force Unleashed on the PlayStation, because I like Star Wars, and Force Unleashed was a good game. And you had to increase your skills over time to be a better Jedi, to take on Darth Vader at the end. And if you didn't increase your skills, there's no way you could face Darth Vader at the end. Now, Blitz used to be like that, and now it's not like that, which sort of devalues the whole premise of gaming. The whole premise of gaming is you start as a noob, you play until you get better, and you're rewarded along the way. Simple as that. It sounds pretty straightforward stuff to me. I mean, I wouldn't expect anybody to jump into to get a game right now. You know, you go out there and buy any console game, and you can't go off and face the top boss straight away in your second game. You can't do that. In Blitz, you can, because you just buy a tier 10. It's as simple as. I mean, I can go out there and I can buy, if I'm lucky, the Badger may be in the store, or the Chieftain Mark 6 may be in the store, the VK90 or the T22. So I can buy a tier 10. I can have exactly 4 games, which is the training wheels, the tutorials, so to speak, 4 or 5 games, and then boom, I'm in the top tier of the game. Is that right? I've learned bugger all. And I mean, like, bugger all. I mean, what did the tutorial teach you? It teaches you to go left, go right, go forward. Doesn't really teach you to go backwards. Teaches you to aim at a tank, and that's it. Doesn't teach you anything else. Doesn't teach you anything. Now, so what is the use of me buying even a tier 8, to be fair? So, and this is the thing. They need to introduce something that keeps people interested, but doesn't devalue the game. And that's a tricky one.
Well, I mean, in terms of the grind, you also have to think about there are people like me that when the Kranvagn got released, I had like 300-something thousand free XP.
Yeah.
So I didn't even have to grind the first 2 or 3 tanks.
Nor did I. Yeah, exactly.
So it's not always an issue of, I can convert credits to instantly upgrade. We could just have the XP on deck.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, we're looking at my garage after this game, and I've got something like almost 3 million. No, I had 3 million, but I bought 2 of those stupid containers for bloody snow globe. So
yeah, Fugit, but the thing that you forget is if you want to convert to free experience, you need experience on a elite tank or a fully researched tank.
I'm going to show you. I mean, don't forget. I'm a little bit different. I've been playing since 2014, so I get that. But I want to show you something. Okay, I just want to show you something. That's a great ammo rack to finish there. And this is Heliosux, Layla. Sorry, can't help it. Heliosux is just too OP, man. Even when he's not in a grill, he's in a Scorpion Gene, he's still OP. So here's my garage. And as you can see, I've got close to 120,000 gold. I've got 122 million credits. And I've got 2.8 million XP. Okay. If I then go to my crew skills, all my crew skills are maxed out, all of them, and you can see there you can use what they call elite XP. So let's move across, and I've got 21 million free XP, elite XP in there. In there, I've got 21 million XP. Now, even if I spent 844,000 gold. It's going to cost me 844,000 gold to get all that XP. And, I'm not stupid enough to do that. But here's a trick. I used to have more XP than that. But if I go back, and a lot of people don't know this, you can use your elite XP to increase your levels, by the way, and your crew skills.
Now, I'm pretty sure that there is a cap. Like, before, you used to be able to do that all the way to like, level 10, I thought.
No, you can
I'm
only
pretty
do
sure
it
there's a
to level
cap
5.
that you can only go...
You can do it to level
Yeah.
5.
And-
Level
like,
6 and 7, you have to use
free
gold.
until tier 5.
No,
Yeah.
when they first released that, you used to be able to use only only elite experience to get to to level 7. But I forgot which patch they changed it to, so
They
that
did.
you can
So
only
it's
do
now
it until
Level
level
5 now.
and then
Yeah.
for
Then
level 6 and level 7, you need to spend credits or even gold.
Yeah.
Credits and.
Credits, gold, and elite XP. Yes, you need to spend to get 6 and 7
Yeah,
unlocked.
That's why when I got my stuff to like, I think mine's at like, I don't average like level 7 or 8 right now. I've just stopped worrying about it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
at that point the bonus is so minuscule.
Yes, it is. It's not massive. It's not massive. But if I go back, because I'll show you. I mean, because I play the game a lot, as you know. So then I go into my garage. And you know, I've been whittling out over time. So as you can see, I've got 780 days of premium time because I had so many bloody certificates, and I've still got a lot of certificates for camos and everything else here. And this is the other thing I wanted to show you. These here, okay. Now, if I combine these, they're no good to me realistically. I can combine those, and I can combine that one, and I can combine that one. Now, if I go down, I think it's down. Now I've got 50% off discount for tier 7 tanks. 50% discount on research. Okay. That's a lot of research, guys. 25% discount on tank. At tier 8, 9, and 10. I mean, the grind couldn't get any easier. I've then got all these ×5 bonuses, and then when I go into my boosters, I hate my boosters, so I have to combine. So I spend a lot of time combining them because they bug me, because it just clogs up the garage, which annoys me. But then when I combine them all, which I do almost all the time, and I just have them on all the time now because I have so bloody many of them. You can see here that I've got. Excuse me, I've got 140 epic combat XP boosters, which increases the amount of crew XP by 90%. Combat XP, sorry, by 90%. I mean, that's huge. So instead of getting 1 XP, combat XP, I now get 1.9, which is almost 2. I mean, that's massive. And I've got 140 of those. I've got 257 free XP boosters, which gives me an additional 500% per battle if that's installed. I mean, that's mad. Then I've got the crew XP, which gives me 250%. I've got 263 of those. Then I've got the cooldown boosters, which is fine.
Oh yeah.
Then I've got the credit boosters. Increases the amount of credits earned per battle by between 10 to 50,000 credits. You know, that's madness. And people are saying to me the grind is long. No, it's not.
No. Like, just a comparison, like, I've done 9 battles in the T43 and I fully researched the T44.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
9 battles at tier 7, like, that's unheard of. Like, I remember when I started playing the game, this game,
Yeah.
it took me like 70, maybe even 80 battles to fully research a tier 8.
Yeah.
And even for the tier 8, the T44, give me a second if I can find it. Okay, yeah. T44, I fully upgraded the tank and researched the T54 in 38 battles.
It's mad. It's
Like-
mad. I mean, I played with Jory when Uprising was out. We only played for 2 hours, and he grinded the entire. He grinded from the start of the tier 8 Japanese TD.
Yeah.
Chinese TD, and he got to the tier 9 Chinese TD within 2 hours, just by using the boosters on Uprising. Now,
Yeah.
of course, it's
Boosters are
okay. He's
good.
Jory. He's a good player, so he's we're winning majority of the games. But that's still not the point. That still he was able to grind that tank in 2 hours. That's mad. That's mad. You know, and the problem with the game is, I and nobody else, to be fair, has the right to say to anybody who has spent real cash, you're not allowed in this tier. Because why aren't they allowed in the tier? They spent their money. It's their right. But it's devaluing the tier. And so it's Wargaming who have got to address that. Not us complaining at the players, to be fair. And I do complain at those players, saying they shouldn't be in that tier. They're not ready for that tank. But who am I to tell them they can't be there if they've bought the tank? Or bought their way to that tank? It's a bit hypocritical of me, surely. At the end of the day. So, but they've got to do something because it does have a knock-on effect.
Also, quick tip for everyone that still hasn't upgraded the crew perks or skills, however you call it. Use the crew XP boosters and wait for the weekends that have 5 times
Yes.
extra bonus, and just play it every single tank of that class. Like I managed to, for some skills, basically speed run them up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing. I mean,
Because
somebody asked earlier, who was it? I can't remember now. I've got to go back. Trenton. No, it's not a dumb question to ask, Trenton. What is Crew XP? Well, I'll show you when this replay finishes. Crew XP gives you different things. It makes your tank perform better. Okay, so if you've got max Crew XP, your gunner will be better, your commander will be better, they'll react quicker, your reload times will be better. In fact, your tank is just a completely different tank. So if I take the same tank, let's say it's for want of a better word, this tank here, the Object 252U, you will now see on the screen, just above the HP bar, this flashing target symbol. Well, depending on what level of crew XP and crew training Nova has got on his account, the next shot, if he pens, will churn out a lot more damage than a normal shot.
okay, high roll.
But he's got
it's
to
a max
get.
roll.
He's got. There you go. 442 because he got a penetrating shot. He is guaranteed that high max roll if he pens. If you don't pen, you don't get it, and you just lose it. And now it's built up over, for example, it's built up over a time that basically every penetrating shot you get. You can see it's done here. He gets a third of that target. Now he's made another shot, so he's got 2/3. If he gets the third shot, that'll complete it. So his fourth shot, he can get the max eye roll. That's just one of the things. And as you can see there, it's now flashy. So his fourth shot, if he were to do it, but he's killed the KV, he would get a max eye roll. That's a great game by Nova there. So just going back to them. So this is your crew skills. You can see it, it's here. It's on light tanks. And if I roll down, so fire 3 shots in a row and deal damage with each shot to get a 35% chance of dealing maximum damage with the next shot. Okay. And it says fire only when you're sure you will hit. And I'm at level 7, so there is a 35% chance I will get the top alpha damage roll. And it's the same. If you go through all of them, you know, this one here, Rage, it increases your accelerates gun reloading by 7% after you destroy an enemy tank. I mean, that is just brilliant. That is just brilliant. And look at this one on the on TD. Sniper gives you a 7% chance of making a shot that is guaranteed to deal damage to an enemy module if you hit it. I mean, these are big things. These change the parameters of the tank. And it's the same all the way through all of these. It changes the parameter of the tank. This one's always interesting. Mentor. It increases the crew XP. So not only do you get the other things, but you also get this thing to increase your XP. Penetration.
Yeah, research that first if you want.
Yeah.
Like, I recommend it to research that thing first and then the other skills for the medium skill.
Only skill for light tanks that you need to get is that 3 shells. You have a chance for a max roll.
Absolutely. That's the one I always get first. And then this is another one. It's in heavy tanks. Close Combat Master. Increases your turret turn by 7% if an enemy vehicle is 30 meters away from your tank. Now, you work that out on some tanks with shitty traverse speeds, like the Crown Wagon.
Scorpion.
That is a big thing. Because don't forget, once you've researched it, it's applicable to all tanks, not just heavy tanks.
Basically mage buffs.
Yeah, it's basically little buffs as you go through. And this is the thing. I mean, this one, smooth turn, decreases gun dispersion of a turning tank.
Like
Yeah, I
there
mean,
are
it's
skills that you should get and you shouldn't.
yeah, I mean, it's a big thing. And a lot of people don't realise it's there, but it's a big, big thing, and it does change the tank a lot. It changes it a lot, more than you think, more than you think. So,
But yeah, if you really need to grind those, if you like reach level 5 and you want quickly to get XP, wait for 5 times the XP weekends. Wargaming does love to do them. And then put out a crew XP booster. You're gonna get, I think, around 20k crew XP.
yeah.
I I don't remember the exact number, but you get the experience at a much faster rate. So if you have boosters to waste, remember they're not useless, they're actually good.
Yeah. Trenton, do you have to upgrade these for each tank? No, you do not. Basically, they are broken up into. If you play light tanks, then you can accumulate skills for the light tank bit, then the medium, then the heavies, and then the TDs. Once you've got that skill, even if it's
It
level
applies to
1, it
everyone.
applies to all tanks, regardless. It's just automatic. It applies to all tanks. So it's crew XP basically. So it applies across the board to all your tanks. So no, you don't have to go individually through all your tanks to do that. So
Now, in some respects, I kind of wish that they would take the system that they had from PC, where you put a certain crew in the vehicle that has a set number of skills. Kind of
Oh, but if you
it.
do that, then everybody else will be screaming, "Ooh, pay to win!" Because on PC you can basically pay for the crew training.
I think this is a far better system to have overall. Like,
Yeah, I mean, effectively it's better, but it just doesn't feel like once you get to level 7, right? You're gonna have to pay probably, I'm pretty sure, just straight gold in order to get to 10.
actually,
There's
no.
No,
really
that's
no.
literally the maximum is 7. Like there is no 8,
Oh,
there's
it's
no
only
8, 9.
7 now.
on Blitz is only 7, yeah. On I think it was 5, and then they increased it to 6 and 7 after a while.
On PC they can get up to 10 slot if I yeah,
No,
10
it's
slot
only
because
7.
I do have 10. Wait.
But
Yeah, I
like,
think I do have 10 on my E5's commander on PC. I don't know. Regardless, on PC where the system is like each crew has their own tank, so if you want to change one crew to another tank, you need to retrain them either by gold, or if you want to if you can wait, then with like free you start with 50% or credits for 75%, but you need to retrain those crews if you want to change towards another tank. Uh, Basically, this is where the premium tanks on PC have the advantage, because for the crew for
They
those you
share
don't
they
need to
share
retrain them.
crews with the regular ones.
Yes, you don't need to retrain the crew if they share the same tank types. So for example, if I have the T-54E2 Renegade in PC, I can put every other American heavy crew into that tank without retraining them and without any penalties, basically. So that's the system on PC, which I don't think it is a good system, and they're looking at trying to change it on PC anyway. So yeah.
Well, firstly, Stitch, that's a
Wargaming
great
itself,
game,
yeah.
and
to be fair,
how
the
you
system
managed
is far
to
more
get that
complicated.
shot into Gangster, aka
far
Yumiko,
easier.
at the end there is amazing. That was a great game. Really well deserved. 6,000 damage in the 268. Hang on a minute. Questions here, Trenton. Okay. So, these crew skills, I think you start accumulating them straight from immediately, straight after the tutorial. That's how it used to be. What they did change, which to an extent I do agree with, to an extent, is that when you buy a tier 1 to 4 now, is it tier 1 to 4 or 1 to 5? I can't remember. I think it's tier 1 to 4.
1 to I think 5 is you don't need to train your crew.
You don't need to train your crew. That's right. So tiers 1 to 5, you don't need to train your crew. But when you play the game, you can still get these additional crew skills. Okay, you can still do that in the low tiers. It's not like you can't. So you can. But and I don't disagree with not training you. You know, having tiers 1 to 4 now. My argument now is that tiers 1 to 4 is should be seen as the training tiers. And okay, a lot of people keep saying about, yeah, but there's no tutorials on Blitz and the tutorials are rubbish or whatever. You know what? There is literally thousands of Blitz YouTubers. And I mean literally thousands. I mean, it seems that everybody who plays Blitz has got a YouTube account somewhere. So it's not like you cannot find any content that deals with this game anywhere on YouTube or the internet or even Twitch. There's always somebody streaming. There's always somebody uploading a video. So you don't need tutorials in this game, to be perfectly honest with you, because there's more than enough out there on YouTube.
Well, I think certain people mean not necessarily how to play the game, but there are certain like statistics and other things that the game just doesn't tell you.
No, I agree with that.
Explain.
Like, you know, like gun traverse dispersion. Like some of these stats are just they're not told to you. Like if I really wanted to know how much my gun blooms when I turn the turret on like any tank, I'd have to go to either Tanks GG or like, you know, something like that. So I can know, okay, I can't do this or I can do this in this tank and whatever. I think that's what people are asking for, because those stats can sometimes make or break how a person plays a tank.
That I don't disagree with. And yeah, no, I agree with that. That should be somewhere. And, you know, but how to play the game, per se, roll the tank forward, shoot the bloody gun. There's plenty of stuff after the tutorials now on YouTube that tells you how to play the tanks and how to angle them and how to side scrape and all that sort of shit. So wargaming don't need to go down that road in real terms. But now, when they brought in 5.5, their argument was, we want to get rid of seal clubbing. Well, they got rid of seal clubbing. It's now called re-rolling, but they got rid of seal clubbing, okay, to an extent, because now it takes so bloody long to get into a battle down there, and you're no longer clubbing seals down there, really. So it's easier to re-roll. Plus, re-rolling's better because, you know, you can stat paddle as a re-roll quite easily. So my argument at the moment is get away with Stephen, I'm getting there. Remove win rate completely for tiers 1 to 4. Get rid of it. Remove it. What's the point?
I would say more 1 to 6, because, or at least 1 through 5, because, well, like I said, you don't start crew training until 6. So why should those tiers have any reflection on your playability?
Tier 5 is basically the breaking point where tanks start really to
Correct.
differentiate.
This is where you get your camos. This is where you get your HE coming back. This is where you start getting those things reintroduced into the game. And I would say, right, fine. Then if you're going to do it this way, guys, then now, you know, don't get me wrong. Now, tiers 1, 2, 3, and 4, if you look at them, the tanks are almost totally balanced. Same alpha, same armor, same HP, same reload times. They're almost totally balanced. Almost. And I would say, fine, do that. That's not a problem. Leave it at that. Remove the win rate. Leave everything else. Leave the damage counts. Leave the mastery badges and all the other things. Just remove win rate. Because why not? Remove the win rate and you've got it done. Everybody's happy. No more seal clubbing.
Okay.
Everything's done.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you get HE back at tier 4 now that I look at it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
I might be wrong
It was
about
meant
that.
to be tier 5, but I think they've changed it to. They brought it back to tier 4 again.
Yeah, but at tier 4, like there's a lot of quite similar tank. Like tier 5s where you get
Started
more of a
differently.
diverse kind of playstyle. Like I always say, if you want to play like a classic medium, go for the T34. If you want to play a side scraping heavy, play the KV1. But right now, I don't think it's applicable anymore because they nerfed the KV1 to shit.
Hmm.
And if you want to play a gun depression medium, then go for the M4. I always said that, like when before
Yeah, I play
the
the
patch 5.5.
Stritzvon. I'd rather play the
but
Stritzvon for a gun depression medium, but I mean that's just me.
no,
Oh,
I
a couple of
hate
things.
What?
Stritzvon.
Firstly, Shao, mate, I'm shocked that you still haven't had the results back. Damn, man. I mean, it's like, how long does it take? Did they tell you when you're going to get the results back? Because, we need to know this stuff. Anyway, hope you're doing well anyway.
Fugit.
Yeah.
I asked this a little while ago in the chat, but I don't know if you may have covered this already or not. What are your thoughts on the Emil 1 versus the Emil 1951?
I haven't played the 51 yet, so I can't say yet until I've played it.
Fair.
The tank, look, there's a lot of hype around the Emil 51 because it was one of the tanks that was talked about a long time back, and there's been a lot of hype around it. So I'd be interested to see, to be fair.
The
how
hype
it
was
plays.
because on PC it was an auto reloader,
Correct.
like the Italian
Ye-
mediums. But like the Progettos, but they changed it to a regular autoloader for the Blitz. So yeah, and not a lot
Yeah,
of
they-
people knows about it. So they keep thinking, oh, it's an auto reloaded version of the Emil 1, and then suddenly when it came out, then it's not suddenly. The file itself has been in the game for quite a long time, maybe 3 to 4 months.
Wow.
But no one looked like not a lot of people look at the unreleased tank stats on, for example, a Blitzhanger or Blitzstars. So they kept thinking that it's an auto reloader. They hyped it as that when it's really not. And then it's basically a meh tank, I would say, because it's
Well, one of
it
the
has
problems
10
that
alpha
led to its delay, by the way, was that they had to nerf the Emil.
Yeah.
Basically.
But Emil basically screwed. The
Yeah. So the tech tree version, they realised it was so powerful that they had to nerf it, which has a knock-on effect with the 1951 because obviously it's the same tank, give or take.
Yeah, like the armor on it is actually the turret is more of an Emil 2 turret in terms of style, but other than that, the armor is almost identical.
It has 20 millimeter less on the turret and 25 millimeter less on the hull, which is quite a lot considering the angling of those two.
But I will say the mobility on the Emil 51 feels a lot better. Like it doesn't feel like the clunky piece of junk that the Emil 1 does.
But Emil 1 has
The Emil 9051 mobility currently is almost the same as the Emil 1's mobility before the nerf. Let's just say it like that. And like it has like 30 less on its clip potential.
Yeah.
Like a potential clip damage. And it has like 18 more penetration, if I'm not mistaken. It has
Let me look real quick.
Something.
I think it's 228 to 241, so yeah, like 13 or something like that.
Yeah, so it's not that big of a difference from the current Tech 3 one. So
I mean, I made the joke earlier that it's basically just an Emil 1 with the gun from the AMX 5100.
Yeah,
that's basically what it is.
Yeah, it's basically that, and it has less armor but more mobility. But yeah, considering for an autoloader, I would say the clip potential damage is really important. Like losing 30, that means that you might not be able to clear certain targets that you might be able to clear in the Emil 1.
Just
Like
stop
I
you there a
would
minute
just say
because some
yeah.
important stuff. So Joe, well, sorry to hear that, but I don't see. See, I'm not a medical person. So does that mean it's obviously there's no cure as such, but does that mean it's sort of better when I say you have this radiation in the neck and it went down from 185 to 153? I'm assuming that means that's a good thing. If so, that really glad to hear that, mate. Sorry guys, I had to mention that.
Yeah, like I just say the Emil 51 sacrificed too much to gain so little things compared to the Emil 1.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like that's just going to close my opinion on the tank. I've tried it on one of my friend's account, which he got.
No, I haven't played it yet. I mean, I'm looking forward to
Oh,
seeing how it
and
goes.
this thing, I forgot. It doesn't have the OP speed boost that
No, it
the
doesn't.
Emil 1
yeah.
has.
No, I
Actually.
know that it doesn't have the better speed boost.
Also the 1951
reticle.
also doesn't get a lot of the consumables that the regular one does either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like it only has the regular consumables and stuff.
Mhm,
It doesn't have the HP buff.
Sandbag.
The sandbag armor. It doesn't have the reticle calibration, which gives you more accuracy and less aiming time.
Or improved engine boost.
Yes, or the improved engine boost. Like that thing doesn't have those which the Emil 1 has. The regular Emil, I meant the Tech 3 one.
The ML1 with the speed boost is
Good morning,
basically
Bronco.
pre-nerfed. Thanks, so Brooke.
Just going back
I mean,
to Stephen Ambrose's message, remove the win rate altogether. You can't really do that, Stephen, because of clan wars. Because the pro teams still need to gauge the player by both damage and win rate. To be fair, so that's
But
why
they
can't
don't
remove
really
it.
gauge on win rate.
No, they don't. They gauge. No, they take it into account a little bit, but it's more damage in tier to tier.
WN8
Yeah.
for most.
Yeah, but they still need that win rate calculation just in case. But it's a strong argument, but you still need it for certain things. But I do believe that tiers 1 to 3, 1 to 4 even, it's irrelevant. They don't need it.
Well, I mean, okay, if you removed win rate from tiers 1 to 4, you really wouldn't have to worry about seal clubbing anymore at that point because you can't stat pad at those tiers.
Exactly.
So theoretically, whatever update they removed half the tech tree, all they really had to do is just remove win rate from those tiers, and you wouldn't have to worry about people seal clubbing.
No, that's true.
As much, I should say.
But and not being funny, and a lot of people may take exception to this. We YouTubers are slightly to blame for a lot of what goes on in the game, okay? A lot of YouTubers make a big deal out of win rate. I'm not one of them, mainly because my win rate's shit. But a lot of YouTubers do make a big deal out of win rate. And you see videos how to get to a 60% win rate and blah, blah, blah. And when you've got influencers going on and on and on about it, if you removed it from tiers 1 to 4, then people would complain because they want that win rate. And therein lies the problem. So, it's sometimes YouTubers don't help. So, you see people turn around and YouTube saying, this tank needs a nerf, and then next week it gets a nerf. Or this tank is OP, and then next week it gets a nerf again. Or this tank is rubbish, so nobody plays it. So, sometimes us YouTubers play a large part in how things progress as well in the community. And I sometimes feel that, YouTubers as a whole should pick their words carefully to some extent. Because there's a lot of people listening, and there's a lot of new players listening to these guys. And if I had 100,000 subscribers, of which at least 70% were new players, and every other video of mine was how to get a 60% win rate, then win rate becomes a big thing for you, does it not? Of course it does. Because your influencer is telling you it should be. So I mean, it's a double-edged sword in that respect.
Yeah, but they don't nerf tanks based on what YouTuber
No,
or
they don't.
anyone
No, they
said.
don't. No, they don't. It's a
No.
perception. It's a perception.
But with that being said, I also feel like there's some responsibility for when people are like, "Oh, this tank is new and it's broken. Go buy it," or stuff
Exactly.
like that.
Totally the same. That is totally the same argument, and I totally agree with you. And I do totally agree with you, because it's influencers are influencers for a reason. They influence decisions, and therein lies the thing. And you may not think that a person is an influencer or a particular YouTuber is an influencer for whatever reason, but they are because people listen to them. Okay. And this is the YouTube. That's a great game, by the way, Layla. Shame it's only a second class, but it's a great game. Now, YouTube is a great tool, but it's also a really shit tool. Okay, because I can literally go on to YouTube now, and I can find 100 videos saying how what's recently happened in America is no big deal. And on the same token, I can find another 100 videos saying that what's recently happened in America is the outbreak of civil war.
It's the biggest thing since sliced bread.
Is the outbreak of civil war. And then I can find another 100 videos saying that, wow, it's a storm in a teacup. It's a nasty thing, but don't worry about it. And this is the problem with YouTube. Every man and his dog jumps onto YouTube and we all have an opinion. Simple as that. And one of the things that I get a lot of criticism for it. One of the things I do with my videos, when I get round to doing my videos, is I try to give an unbalanced view on the tank. So,
Unbiased.
unbiased, I meant,
think
yes. I try to give an unbiased view on how a mediocre 47%, 5,000 battle win rate experienced player would be playing that tank. And I'm telling you, when you turn around and say things like this tank is broken, for a vast majority of the player base, it isn't. It's not. And
It might be broken in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing,
that's
but
the point. That's the point. So, we get back to what is truly OP. Because in the hands of a 65% player who is a professional, a 70% player who's a professional in Clan Wars and churns out average damage of 3,000 and is a really, really good player, one of the best, and is a super duper unigum and has 30,000 battles under his belt, almost every tank in the bloody game is OP. But that doesn't mean to say they're broken. It's just the player is very good. Now, if I stick the most OP... If I stick a smasher in the hands of somebody with, 500 battles and a 45% win rate, which is just below average, they'll struggle in that tank. Because they won't know where to position it, and they won't know the maps properly, and they won't know how to use their HE properly, and they won't know how to do this properly, and they'll struggle. And you'll be convinced if I did a review just showing the worst games in a smasher, everybody eventually could be convinced that it needs to be buffed. I'm telling you could be convinced it needs to be buffed. And if
I had that same mentality with the Ferdinand. Like I always thought the Ferdinand was just bad.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do half the things in the Ferdinand that I could do with the Yag Panther too.
Yeah. Now, take Royal Fatness. Royal Fatness is a great example. Thankfully, ATGMs have gone. I could never throw a missile anywhere like his Royal Fatness can do. I can't do it. I just cannot do it. In fact, if you look at my stats on the Sheridan, I suck in that tank. And the reason I was glad that ATGMs went is because now, all of a sudden, the premium ammunition is open to me. And I know how to shoot in a straight line. I don't know how to bend a missile around corners and stuff. So I will start playing that tank a lot better now than I did when it had an ATGM. Yet everybody said it was broken. And for a player like me, it's not broken because I'm not very good in it. Simple fact. Because I can't use the ATGMs. Now, on the same token, if I take an Alepto, which is a truly terrible tank, okay, it's not a great tank, or the FCM pack, which is even worse, and I give the FCM pack to, I don't know, Umfanjani from the RU server, his Royal Fatness on NA, and I don't, maybe the General or Air Moz or someone of this caliber on EU, and I said, give me replays, you would all be convinced in time that that tank needs to be nerfed because it's OP.
I mean, I have a 65% win rate in the pack because I play it religiously.
Exactly. And if I showed you replay after replay of everybody doing fantastic battles in the FCM pack, everybody would be convinced that it needs to be nerfed.
Now I will say the SU-76I probably needs one, but that's just me.
And
No,
this is-
it's been nerfed already.
and this is
so
the thing.
I don't think it's
You know, what is broken for one person is not broken for somebody else. And, you know, I will say, I mean, to me, there's only one tank in the game that's truly broken, and that is the Kennyotsu. Simple. Simple as that. All the rest to me are just powerful. The Smasher's powerful, Annihilator's powerful.
Annihilator's more annoying than anything else.
The T92 is unbalanced.
T22 is also annoying, but not that good.
Well, the T22 I would say is slightly out of balance. It's not a balanced tank. So we have different
No,
ways
it's
of
only
doing it.
annoying. It's annoying, but
Exactly,
it's not
yeah,
that
yeah.
good if you can.
It's
like,
about
it's
it's
a
about a
really
BT
finicky tank. Like the armor, you need to angle it in such a specific way. You cannot do it reliably. So it's quite a troll tank, but not a good tank.
I'm gonna have
well,
to start.
it is a good tank, but not a really,
Unfortunately,
really good
I'm gonna
tank.
have to wrap this
everything
session
made
up
up with.
because I can hear my wife screaming at my 10-year-old, which means that I have to give some attention to that. But before I go, I know it's not been, you know, it's been. I'm sorry, Layla. There's no bar fighting today. It's 2021. We're all chilled nowadays. Simple as that. So yeah, no bar fighting at the moment. Secondly, it's not the usual coffee chats because I've been a little bit ill and I haven't really been sort of on the game as such for the last couple of days. So I've missed out on a few things. But in fairness, we are going to start seeing more and more coming in. So next week it'll be a bit different. We'll have more things to discuss. And guys, seriously, you know, you guys provide the content, so it's not just about me sat here chatting away. It's for you to chat as well. And a couple of things before I go. Firstly, on NA there is a 2v2 tournament being hosted by Nitz on Blitz. Used to be Vladimir Putin. That is for the US people. That's for the US people. Those in the NA server. That is later on today. For those of you in EU, that's tomorrow morning for us. That's number one. And number two, next time you see Rolling Swarm, remember he's due to become a daddy pretty soon.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, what? Fugit, do you know any creative name for the daddy?
No. I've only got him down as not Baby Yoda, Baby Rolling. That's it at the moment.
No, the daddy, the new name for
For what?
oh my
For
God.
what?
For rolling. We need to make his.
Why?
Just say we need to create a name that.
No,
is-
rolling is a great name. Rolling's a great name, and for various reasons.
combine
Anyway,
that and
I've got to
rolling.
go and sort this domestic situation out. So, guys, as always, those of you on YouTube, thank you for jumping in. Those of you on Discord, thank you for jumping in. Not as long as I would normally do, but as I said, there's a bit of a domestic issue going on, so I've got to sort that out. Anyway, right. Oh, Rolling is doing a stream right now, so there you go. Opportunity knocks. Right then, guys. I will talk to you all later again. It's been great, and for those of you who haven't said it yet, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2021. Hopefully, for every single one of you, it will be better than 2020. Until then, guys, we'll just watch the dying game here where Wild One's helper, aka Jack
Jack the Jinxer.
Jack the Jinxer, will take out on this poor E5 and get his ace because he plays a good game. Despite everybody calling him a noob at the beginning and not having a clue what he was doing, because he clearly did have a clue what he was doing. Because he went on and got the ace in the 1-2-1, which is a fantastic tank, by the way. I'm still in two minds. Is it better than the 1-2-1B or not? I don't know. I like both. Both of them are fantastic.
Depends
Anyway,
on your
right.
playstyle.
Gotta go. Take care, everybody, and thanks for joining. And I'll catch you all very, very soon. Until then, bye for now, guys.
Yep.